That morning, on the morning of September 11th, I finally was, because all the cell phones went down, if you had a cell phone,
right?
Because they were new then.
Mm-hmm.
But all that went down, and I finally found a landline around 11:15 a.m. Eastern time, where I was able to get through to my younger brother Chris, who I was very close with, and tell him, and my words to him were, "I'm alive, but everyone else is dead," because all my friends were killed. Over 100 of my friends were killed. All my, they were all my buddies. They were men I loved, and so those were my exact words. So in the days after, I still work for the mayor. You don't stop because something bad happened. You
Right.
still work. You're still at work, and we're waiting for more terrorist attacks to occur. Like we are scared out of our minds about what's going to happen next, right? And the military's coming in, and all the cops are in the street trying to make sense of things. And
What were your orders immediately after that? Like, what was your job?
set up a forward command post, mayor's command post, kind of. We were trying to get a handle on all the incoming help. Everybody got in their police cars and their fire trucks and their military vehicles and drove to New York City. So we had this influx of help. It's the beauty of America and the beauty of humanity, right?
Mm.
Everybody wanted to help.
Mm.
But we don't know who's who. There's no organized process. For all we know, that ambulance that's driving into Ground Zero is full of a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we're genuinely scared that something else is going to happen. And so our first job was to try and manage the incoming people and equipment, and to try to vet it somehow, and not send down to the scene what they need, not what they don't need. They don't need hundreds and thousands of people coming down who are going to get in the way. They
Right.
need people who have skills, talent, training, equipment that's going to help them. In these days and moments, we are still believing that we have many, many people alive under the rubble. So we set up the forward command post at IS 89 on the West Side Highway, and I had the day shift representing the mayor, and we were starting to get a barrier around the neighborhood that was being manned by first law enforcement and then by the National Guard. So we were starting to be able to lock it down. And so they would send people to the gym or cafeteria where I was in the school. And then we had to try to figure out how to vet people, get IDs made up, all that. To say it was chaotic is such an understatement. There should be some other word bigger than that. I was standing on this. It was an intermediate school, so the chairs were small, little kids' chairs. And I was standing on one of them, yelling out orders and organizing and trying to be helpful and trying to provide leadership. And a guy comes over to me and tugs on my shirt, and he has an ID, and he puts it up to me and he says, "I'm FBI. See, that's my picture, that's my ID. I am an FBI agent." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "We have a problem in the room. I need to talk to you." So I get off the chair. He grabs me and he said, "There's a guy in this room wearing a blue jacket with yellow FBI letters emblazoned on it. He's not from the FBI. I know everybody. He's not. He's not one of us. I don't know who he is, and he has a backpack. And, we are waiting for someone to blow up a backpack at our command post." Shit. So I grab an NYPD guy, and we explain it to him. There's a possible bomber in the room. And so he's like, we got some NYPD undercovers. We're going to surround him, then we're going to take him down. So they surrounded him with some undercover NYPD guys. And imagine this scene. I'm not making this up. It really happened. The guy's in an FBI jacket, and all of a sudden, a bunch of scruffy-looking guys take him out hard. Out, down, they rip the backpack out of his hand in case he had a triggering device. And they separate him, they put him up against the wall, they put him in cuffs. And the guy's screaming, I'm FBI, I'm FBI, I'm FBI. And so we confront him after the cops took him down. And we're like, the guy with me that's a real FBI agent is like, you're not, he used some foul language.
You can say it.
You're not a fucking FBI agent.
Right.
I know I am. This is my ID. Who the fuck are you? We were pissed, to say the least. And it turns out he was like CIA guy. And the dope puts on an FBI jacket, didn't tell the FBI. You know, he just like walked in there like he owned the joint. And I'm not picking on anybody. I'm saying that's how paranoid and scared we were.
Right.
And how everything triggered us because we were afraid of getting blown up again.
What are you currently working on?
Well, I'm on a task force, which I can't really talk about. It's national security stuff.
Okay.
But we are involved with prosecuting terrorists and ensuring that American justice is done the way America does it. Right? We don't just shoot them in the head. If we can capture them, we capture them, and we get intelligence out of them, hopefully, and then we prosecute them in a court, an American court. So whether that's a military court or an American court of justice, federal court, it's still the prosecution, the defense, and the judiciary that develop evidence and allow evidence in or not, and then you're judged by a group of your peers, and they decide whether you're guilty or not, and then they decide. Well, the judge decides what the sentence is, right? So we still do that. I'm proud of being a part of that. We cannot become like some of these other countries are. We still need to, even with the worst people that do the most egregious things to America and to Americans, we still have to do a fair trial. Mm-hmm. And I do believe in that. And I'm honored to be a part of it. And so we have some time left in doing this. And then at some point, I think I'm going to be done with it all.
Yeah.
It's 20 years coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We have the anniversary coming up less than a year from now.
Right.
We have some big things planned. One of the foundations I'm proud to be a part of is the Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation, and we have some concerts. We've announced some big concerts that are going to benefit the foundation. So I'm proud to be a part of that. And then after the 20th anniversary and after this position with the feds I'm in, I think I might just walk on the beach a bit.
Yeah. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. And,
so you can't say who you're specifically employed by right now, or
federal government?
Just federal government.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. In general, because then it gets into a whole thing which I can't get into. So,
are you doing lots of traveling?
I do some travel.
Yeah.
Back and forth to DC,
Mm-hmm.
and then some other places. But most of my work for the job is in New York City, working with the families and the